Everybody, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week in August 2013. Hell, this is the ending of August, actually. Yeah, last week of August. September's creeping around. Got a lot of books to cover. Got some from DC, some from Marvel, and I got one from an independent. Alright, we're going to start off with something that I considered doing a back issue block video for, but it's just one book, so I was like, I'll just do it here. We're going to start off with the Batman Annual number 2. Let me hold it better there, right there. Batman Annual number 2, featuring the Anchoress, the Asylum, and Zero Year. Scott Snyder, Marguerite Bennett, and Wes Craig. They all worked on this. You know, it's like I held off on getting this book for a while now for two reasons. One, it's $5, and two, the cover claims it makes a tie-in to Zero Year. And look, I've made it no secret that I'm not that fond of Zero Year. It's like, how many times can you twist and tweak Batman's origin? Little boy comes out of a theater with his parents. Parents get shot. It pisses him off. He grows up, trains, becomes Batman. There you go. That's all you need. Like Spider-Man. Boy gets bitten by a spider. Could have stopped a crook but didn't. Crook shot his uncle. He finds out it was the same crook he should have stopped. Decides to be a hero. Period. There you go. That's all you need. It's been told time after time after time after time after time for decades. We know what the origin is. We get it. But with this, I was expecting, I'm going to be honest, I was expecting this book to suck. I really was. I finally buckled down, bought this book. I read it, and I was expecting it to just blow. And when I read it, thankfully, I was wrong. This was actually pretty good. I don't really know how you could connect this to Zero Year. It's basically, what this is Batman testing out Arkham Asylum. He's helping the staff test out their security system. He volunteers to help out, and in here we learn about the Anchoress, who happens to be the very first patient locked into Arkham Asylum. Now, this was back in a time period when she was locked up. This was back in a time period where Arkham was looked at more as a rehabilitation center instead of a prison, or asylum as they call it now. Back then, back in the old days, Arkham, the Arkham Asylum was used for helping, for healing, for talking, psychiatric, physical help, any kind of help that they could give these people. And when she learns that Batman is there, shit hits the fan. She's just pissed off. She's thinking, I can finally now get my revenge on the man who turned Arkham Asylum into a shithole. And it was very, very well done. The The psychological drama that was told in this character's backstory was phenomenally well done. This was very nicely written. The artwork in here flowed. It was fantastic. Like, you know, Scott Snyder, he ain't no slouch to Batman titles. This was really good. And, you know, to say that you're expecting a book to suck royally and then you read it and then you're thankful to yourself that you were wrong about your assumptions right off the bat, it really makes the book a welcome treat. Now, is it worth $5? I don't know. I can't say if it is or if it isn't. I'm going to leave that up to you, the viewers. If you think that, if you read this book and if you liked it as much as I did, or maybe even more than I did, then that's your call to make. For this one, I can't really say. All I can say is, I'm glad I finally buckled down and bought it. I finally read it, and I enjoyed it. For the most part, this was a solid annual for a Batman title. This was very good. Great work from Scott Snyder. Great work from DC. I actually appreciated that. Now, on to the new stash here. Start off DC with Aquaman number 23. If the scavenger isn't stopped, Atlantis is doomed. Oh boy. Now, everybody knows how I feel about Geoff Johns now, compared to how I used to feel about Geoff Johns in the past, especially with the Green Lantern run, with the Blackest Night shit. It was great to admire Geoff Johns back then, but now not so much. But I've made it no secret too that this is without a doubt. There's no probably to it. This is the best book Geoff Johns writes. And I keep telling myself, you know, I look at Justice League from time to time and it's just for me, which is why I don't buy it, because if I'm going to look at a book and just go, why should I buy it? But I swear to you, if Geoff Johns wrote all his other books like he writes this, then yeah, I'd be on board with them. Absolutely. This was great. Arthur's got his hands full, and that's saying a lot. I mean, this is fantastic writing. Paul Pelletier's artwork, it is great. I don't think it's on par with Ivan Reyes' work, but for what it is great stuff. It is photogenic, it is beautiful, it is colorful, it's also dark at the same time, which is really hard to pull off sometimes in comic books. To get that colorfulness and darkness at the same time, that is a real treat when you're working with good artwork and good colorists and good inkers. I mean, it's really, really well done in here. But the story is basically Arthur and Mira are on the run from the dead king who claims that he is the true king of Atlantis, and they're trying to escape their attack, his onslaught, while Atlantis is being under siege by the scavenger. And when Arthur finally comes to Atlantis to help it, you're thinking, oh, Arthur and Mira are going to come in there, just start swinging, and the scavenger's going to tuck his dick between his legs and take off. No, that doesn't happen. It's not that simple, and it's very well done. There is a casualty in here. I'm not going to ruin what it is, but there is a casualty in here, and it doesn't end well for Arthur. The cliffhanger, ooh, what the hell? That's all I'm going to say about the cliffhanger. I'm not going to spoil it. All I'm going to say is, what the hell? This was nice. This was really solid. I really enjoyed it. As much as I shit on Geoff Johns here lately, I gotta give him credit where credit is due. This was a solid issue. Great series. I enjoyed it. I think you would too. I'd recommend buying this. Aquaman number 23. Fucking awesome. Alright, next up, Batman The Dark Knight number 23. The Wrath of Clayface. Oh my god. Chris was right. My student, my friend, my bro, the TheMtVernonKid, he was right. Wrath is starting to become a word that is being way too overused. It's like wrath of this, wrath of that. This character's called Wrath. That character's called Wrath. Enough wrath already. We just got through Wrath of the First Lantern. Batman's dealing with a person named Wrath in Detective Comics. And I understand that there's another title in the New 52 where there's a villain called Wrath. And here we got the Wrath of Clayface. God damn, enough wrath.
Makes you sound like you've got a list.
Wrath. It's like my favorite Ninja Turtle is Wrath. But even with that said, this was good. Greg Hurwitz is doing the writing, and Alex Maleev on the artwork. Nice. I remember Alex Maleev's. Now I know he's been doing art for other titles, and including this one. But I remember Maleev's artwork mostly for the Spider-Woman Spider-Woman series that didn't last very long. With I believe Brian Michael Bendis wrote that over at Marvel. But yeah, this was really good. Batman once again having to use his detective skills to deal with Clayface, and it's very solid work. You know, it's basically a game of distraction and maneuverability. It's basically to stop Clayface, he's got to get him to stand still. He's got to get him in a well-open area so we can get a hold of him. You know, it's a pretty basic kind of straightforward storytelling in here, but for what it was great. It was really good. I'm loving what they're doing with Clayface in here. It's so refreshing to see Clayface done very well in here. He's even his hired help. He even treats his hired help like bitches, obviously, but that's all I'm going to say about that. But how Batman is able to capture Clayface, minor spoiler, he does capture Clayface in here, but what I won't ruin is how he was able to do it. Not exactly original, but for what we got, very, very intelligent, very impressive. Good plot point, liked it, this was good. What more can you ask for? Batman the Dark Knight number 23. Great writing from Greg Hurwitz. Very dark, I mean, literally very dark, detailed artwork from Alex Maleev. It is good, very gritty, you know, kind of grimy and dark at the same time. It's got that grit and grime to it, and I just love it. This is good. Alright, next up, The Flash, number 23. At the Mercy of Reverse Flash. Oh my god, this was good. Attention, if you have not read this book yet, I suggest you go get it and read it, because several things happen in here. Number one, we finally get a full-blown issue, a full issue in which we see Flash and Reverse Flash going blow for blow, trading punches, trading shots. It's good stuff. Number two, the person that we originally thought might have been Reverse Flash still tries to step in and get involved in here, but shit doesn't look too good for him. And number three, we find out who the new Reverse Flash is. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not even gonna give any clues on who it is. But there's one thing I will say. It wasn't who I thought it was gonna be, and thank God for that. If it was gonna be who I suspected it would be, I don't know if I'd be sold on it. I think it might have pissed me off a little bit. So it wasn't who I thought it was going to be for, but who it was did kind of surprise me. I'm like, really? Where the hell did that come from? But is this a perfect issue? No. There is still a major flaw with this series, and that's Barry's girlfriend, Patty. DC. Francis Manapul, Brian Buscello. I gotta ask you, are you actually trying to make us hate this character? I don't understand the stupidity of this character trait that you have given Patty. Unbelievably jealous and controlling and very untrusting of Barry whenever he's around Iris. That makes the character look fucking childish. And I'm like, what does Patty have to be worried about? Barry's a freaking Boy Scout. He's not gonna betray her. Yet anytime he even mentions Iris's name, she gets cold, jealous. It's like, you love the guy? Why don't you fucking trust him? He's not gonna betray you. He loves you too much. He's a Boy Scout. It makes no goddamn sense why she's so jealous, because in actuality, Barry and Iris haven't really done anything to make her jealous, which makes it even more ridiculous in my eyes. DC, you have to change this. This is pathetic, how you're writing her character. Yes, she's intelligent. Yes, she's one of those. It's nice to see that Barry's got somebody to fight for, somebody to come home to when he's done saving the day, but the character trait that makes her so jealous and so possessive, it's fucking stupid in my opinion. Maybe y'all will share that opinion, maybe not, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I will speak for myself. It's ridiculous. It's a character trait that needs to go. But for the most part, overall, this was still a solid read, and I fucking loved the ending. This was good. Next up, Red Lanterns, number 23. The Power of the Butcher. I didn't know what to make of that cover at first, but once I read it, oh, now I get it. Oh, boy. Charles Soule, Alessandro Vitti, and I don't know how well you got to see that name down there. Oh, shit, the lighting's really bad. Jim Calafiore. Oh. Jim Calafiore. You recognize that name, guys? Secret Six. Fucking awesome. Somewhere Gail Simone's got a big grin on her face for that name. Whoops. Oh, but don't forget about little Dex-Starr up here in the top part of the cover right there. Dex-Starr just rocked in this issue. I love that fucking cat. Turns out he, they revealed that, not only did Dex-Starr save Atrocitus from dying, but we figure out that Dex-Starr is growing more and more intelligent because there was something he did on the home world of the Red Lantern Corps. He actually licked some of Rancor's blood, and he actually got more intelligent, and now Dex-Starr is able to form constructs with his ring, which bonus. This was good. We learn more about why Guy Gardner is all of a sudden wearing a Red Lantern ring, and yeah, I could understand some fans who might say it's a bit of a cop-out considering what we see in this issue, but with the plot twist involving what's the real reason why Guy's in the red again, I'll go with it for right now, but at the same time, yeah, I can understand where some fans would be coming from if they said it was a bit of a cop-out, but according to the cliffhanger at the end of this issue, it could raise some very interesting drama and could make for some good storytelling later on down the line in the series. So I really don't have a problem with it. Now, the reasoning for the cover, ooh, Atrocitus does something in here, and ooh, shit's getting real. This is good. I loved this issue. Atrocitus ain't nobody's bitch. This was good. Loved it. I really honestly think Red Lanterns is an underrated title. I really I look at all kinds of reviews and reviewers on the internet, YouTube, whatever, and I don't see as many people reviewing Red Lanterns as they would like an X-Men or a Batman comic or something like that. I really have to dig deep and see if I could find Red Lantern reviewers. But there are some out there who do appreciate this series as much as I do, as much as my girlfriend does. This was great. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the best issues out of the series. I really enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It was great. Good job, DC. That ends DC. Now we're going to Marvel. We're going to start Marvel with Astonishing X-Men, number 66. That cover just looks so retro. Does anybody else get like an 80s vibe off this cover? Because I sure as hell do. Now, one thing I will say is yes, I know Astonishing X-Men's fixing to go away. We're getting a new X-Men series, Amazing X-Men, featuring the return of Nightcrawler, and yes, I am going to be picking that up. I'm really interested in where they can go with that. You got Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness on the artwork. I'm not the world's biggest Ed McGuinness fan, but I don't mind his artwork. There are a lot worse artists out there than him, in my opinion, but I love the lineup that they got in here. They're bringing in Firestar, which I'm really excited for, so I'm looking forward to that. But now on to this issue. Marjorie Liu, I salute you, girl. You're killing it with this. This is good stuff. Everybody's still reeling off the whole ice-covered Earth and everything that they had to deal with Iceman and the whole apocalypse seed and everything. Everybody's trying to readjust. Everybody's trying to get back on with their lives and everything. The interior artwork. Shit, who did the interior artwork? Hang on. Amilcar Pena. I probably butchered that name, and I apologize if I did. But yeah, everybody's trying to adjust, and we see the return of Northstar and his husband in this issue. It's been a while since I've seen them, and it's good to see them back. I've always been a fan of Northstar. I think he's a bit of an underrated character, in my opinion. But it's like, I'll be goddamned if, as soon as they're done dealing with, apocalypse ice world and everything, as soon as they get done with it, it's like, hell, the ice and the snow isn't even halfway gone yet, and already the X-Men are having to deal with another crisis bullshit with involving an alien basically turning people into zombies. This gets kind of disturbing in some parts, but not too much, just kinda, sorta. Some good dialogue from the characters. We got some very funny moments in here too, like the X-Men, including Wolverine and Storm, of all people, at a karaoke party. I mean, this was good stuff. And to see Warbird of the Shi'ar Warrior sing karaoke, that was a blast. I loved it. And everybody's like, oh, she sounds... what's the word they use? I forgot what was it? She sounds so glorious. Yeah. But they learn more about the monster that's turning all these people into zombies, and it's kind of oh, really? Really? That's it? Oh, okay. But yeah, good moments all around. It had a bit of everything. It had some action, it had some drama, it had plenty of comedy, and it had some kind of, warm family moments and everything. I mean, this book had everything. It was a fun read. I mean, there was really no real big nail-biting moments and everything, but, for what this was simply just pure fun. Pure fun. I loved it. And I'll be sad when that series goes. Next up, Captain Marvel number 15. Yeah, I was able to get this. Oh boy, a tie-in to Infinity. Okay. We got new interior artwork from Patrick O'Leaf. Probably butchered that name too, and I'm sorry if I did. But we got new interior artwork, and the interior artwork, huge step up. I mean, a huge step up from what it has been lately. And it's like, okay, you think to yourself, we got a new artist on here. Artwork is great. It's a tie-in to Infinity. Shit's going off the scale. Carol's finally getting control of her powers again. You're thinking to yourself, how is the story? Just Hang on a second. Excuse me, but it's like, look, Kelly Sue DeConnick, you're a good writer, okay? But with the exception of the last page, the rest of this book, I wasn't really that impressed. I mean, it's like the Avengers getting in a bunch of spaceships and finding people out in space. They're getting together with other races, including the Shi'ar, the Kree, the Skrulls. And I was like, okay, you would think that this kind of storytelling would be badass. I'm going to be honest, brutally honest. I was not impressed. It's like when I was reading this book, and I really had to look at this. I was reading this, and I felt like I was reading a comic book adaptation of fucking Defender. I really did. It's like, get in a spaceship and start shooting other shit. I mean, really. I mean, that's really disappointing. A good writer, great artwork, and like I said, with the exception of the last page with the cliffhanger, this book was just Alright, moving on. Scarlet Spider, number 21. I love this. Because You Demanded It. Ben Reilly, the original Scarlet Spider. Marvel, I don't think anybody demanded this. Did you find a small pool of fanboys who loved the Clone Saga shit in the 90s? Wow. Because we demanded it. I sure as fuck didn't demand it. I don't think my buddy Chris demanded it. Don't think Deadpoolzilla demanded it. Did you demand it, baby? Nope. Okay, she didn't demand it. I don't think Mark and Chloe at Fast Deck of Comics. I don't think they demanded it. Yeah, this is just what we need. Clone Saga 2.0. I looked at that cover and I'm like, this is gonna suck. I'm like, because we just got through dealing with Dr. Miles Warren, aka Jackoff, and his incredibly annoying obsession with cloning Spider-Man. He's still obsessed with clones after what? After about what, 20 fucking years? He's still obsessed with it. That's sad. And I was like, oh god, this is gonna really blow. But you know, Chris Yost, I'm sure he can write some way around it and make it entertaining. At the very least, mildly entertaining. I was wrong. This was good. This was good. First thing is, shit, does the artwork. Okay, we got two artists on here. Carlo Barberi and David Baldian. I probably butchered your names and I apologize. But the interior artwork in here was really good. Now, I want to show this off because this is a good page. As much as I don't like the Clone Saga, I give credit where credit is due. Look at that. That artwork is just badass. I mean, that is really good stuff. Now, while Kane is dealing with Ben Reilly, the supporting cast of the series is also in deep shit. It's like somebody's tracking them down and trying to hit them off one by one. We don't know who it is until we get to the very end of the book. Now, One thing I will minorly spoil. Yes, this Scarlet Spider, the original Scarlet Spider, this is not a hallucination by Kane. He's really there. But it's not Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly died nearly 20 years ago. But it's not Ben Reilly. Now, who is under the mask and who is wearing the costume of the original Scarlet Spider? I am not going to tell you. It was such a good reveal. I really didn't see this coming. But in some respects, I fucking should have. But I'm not going to tell you. I can't. It was really good. Really good reveal. We're also learning more. Another thing I will minorly spoil, Kane is not dying. The scars that he saw on his face, it was a hallucination. He's not really degenerating again. He's not dying. He's just fine. He's just a little drugged. He's hallucinating, and he's getting his ass whooped. But he comes out of it near the end of the issue. We get to see who's in the original Scarlet Spider costume. It's a big reveal. It's a big dun 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 kind of reveal, and it was good. This was really good. Another example of a book I was gonna read. I expected it to suck shit through a straw, and I was thankfully wrong. This was good. This was a solid read. Good action. Good drama. Lots of holy shit moments and a really good cliffhanger. I enjoyed it. Chris Yost, I thank you. Marvel, I thank you. This was great. Alright, moving on. Uncanny Avengers, number 11. I was also able to get this book too. This is probably the best thing about this issue for me was the John Cassidy cover. Look, Rick Remender, love your stuff. I love your writing. Daniel Acuna, your artwork in here was good. Oh, but goddamn, I'll be glad when this storyline is over with. The Apocalypse Twins, the Four Horsemen. This shit's dragging the fuck on. I'm serious. God damn, it took me nearly an hour to fucking read this book because it kept losing me. So much goddamn dialogue. So much egotistical shit in here. There were times I was bored off my ass reading this book. Not to mention the fact that Janet is still coming off a little bit like a bitch. Still mocking Havoc's "Don't call us mutants, call us people" speech from way back earlier in the series. I'm thankful that Rick Remender at least remembered to put in some of Rogue's southern accent in here. It's just wow. It's like this wasn't a terrible issue. It's like reminding us that this story with Archangel's twin children, the Apocalypse Twins and everything, so dialogue heavy. It's like, when is this fucking angle going to end? I hope it ends in the next 1 or 2 issues because I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for something different. So much fucking dialogue. It was this was painful to read. It wasn't terrible, but fucking Christ, it could have been better. Alright, next up, Uncanny X-Men, number 11. Brian Michael Bendis, still doing the writing on here. Yeah, I'm still going to say it. Cyclops is a villain. Dick Summers, yeah, he's a villain. I'm like, hell. Let me go back to Uncanny Avengers in here. Now I'm going to spoil this moment because I don't really fucking care. But Dakin is beating the ever-loving shit out of Wolverine. Stabs him in the shoulder. And then pokes him through the eyes with his claws. Okay, for all you fans out there who bitch and complain saying Wolverine's killed a lot of people and he's never He's never paid any price for it. Okay, he killed his son Dakin. And Dakin's giving him an ass whooping for it, so he's answering him for it. Dick Summers here killed Charles Xavier. He's still not fucking answering for it. But Fraser Irving's artwork look, I'm not saying Fraser Irving's artwork, I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying for this particular series, it fucking is. It's just, sometimes the facial expressions that he draws on certain characters is like, their emotional expressions, they look like they're fucking sick. It's like when somebody's sad, they look like they're gonna puke. The really grainy coloring doesn't really help it that much either. But still, my favorite thing about this particular sit run on Uncanny X-Men so far is all the new mutants. Especially Gold Balls. Best fucking name ever. Just poink, 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 poink. This is just good stuff. But, yeah, Cyclops is just wow. Just wow. It's like, hey students, I'm about to teach you how to control your mutant powers when I can't fucking control my own. Wow. I mean, just wow. Yeah, they're dealing with the Sentinel and all that shit. Magneto stepping in, and Scott's like uber pissed off, saying, "Who sent you? Who sent you?" It's like, Cyclops said he's going to defend his people no matter what and everything. And just, I'm just like, what the fuck ever. You're Magneto. It's like, you're just as villainous as Magneto is. I mean, get the fuck over yourself, Scott. This is just bad. But, that's just Dick Summers. I mean, I don't like his character. I don't like the way he's being done. But the rest of the book, the rest of the series is still pretty solid for what it is. I do enjoy the storytelling. I just don't like what they're doing to Cyclops. It's like they pretty much made him a villain. He is a villain. Just happens to call his team the Uncanny X-Men. It's just, it's leading up to the Battle of the Atom story, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with that. And a lot of people have been messaging me on Tumblr, including my friend Samantha. She's like, "Hey, did you recognize this guy on the last page?" I sure as fuck didn't. It's like when I think of the Sentinels, I think of people like Bolivar Trask, and I think of people like Gyrick, and I think of people like that. I don't know who the fuck this guy was on the last page, but the Sentinel that is thrown at this particular team looked impressive. It looked different. I liked the action in here for the most part. It's like somebody asked me. It's like all the bitching and griping I do about Cyclops. Why do you hate this? Then why do you still buy the series? Now, I need to try and clear this up. I don't like Cyclops. I don't like adult Cyclops. He's a dick. And he's a murderer. But that doesn't mean I hate the series. You can hate on one character and still enjoy the story, still enjoy the issue. You can. Trust me, Chris, the TheMtVernonKid, he knows what I'm talking about. He hates Emma Frost. But he can read an X-Men book with Emma Frost in it, hate on the bitch, and still enjoy the issue. It's possible. You can do that. You can read a book with a character you hate in it and still enjoy it. Trust me, you can. And this is another good example. This whole entire series has been a good example. Very solid stuff. And with Bendis on how he's writing his X-Men stuff so far, I'm glad I'm on board with this, because it's nice to know what Dick Summers and his team of X-Men are up to. The new mutants that they're training, they're fucking enjoyable to read. I love it. Hope that was explanatory enough. Alright, we're ending Marvel with Wolverine and the X-Men number 35. Hellfire Saga Part 5 of 5. That is an awesome cover. I do love that. This is another one of those X-Men series that I just enjoy. It's a solid, fun read. Jason Aaron, Nick Bradshaw. Just great stuff. This is the conclusion of the Hellfire Saga, with the Hellfire Academy basically being shut down. X-Men style. Wow. So many twists. So many swerves in here. Very good. It's like there was moments in this particular issue where you think you're going in one direction with the story, but nope, it's going the other way. It's like early on in the issue, I'm thinking Cade Kilgore is going to get assassinated by his own crew. Nope, ain't going to happen. I was thinking maybe one of these two is going to die. Nope, that don't happen. You think there's going to be a heartfelt moment for Toad. Not quite. the Toad Page Guthrie angle in here is resolved, but kind of with what kind of conclusion? It's just one of those moments you're just looking at it and going, what? Really? Oh, okay. But yeah, this book was full of what and full of huh? And it was good. It was done right. I mean, Jason Aaron just knows how to do it. He knows how to do it very well. But the person that gets to Cade Kilgore near the end of the book, wow, that was another moment that really came out of nowhere for me. But then when it's a female, when she explains why she's doing it, okay, it's like, yeah, as crazy as that fucking sounds, it kind of sort of makes sense. But I loved the way the story resolves itself. The X-Men, they save the kids, they shut down the Hellfire Academy, and then we get... Oh, and there's a really nice resolution with Brew. I loved that. But then we get to the end of the book. Oh, God. It's probably blown up all over the internet. But I'm going to be a gentleman and still say, I will not ruin it. Yes. 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 I loved the cliffhanger. It was so... I would look at it as a cliffhanger leading up to the Battle of the... Well, not the Battle of the Atom story, shit. Leading up to... yeah. Well, it's an ending, but it looks like a cliffhanger, and all I'm going to say is... Fuck yeah! Thank you, Marvel. This is going to be good. Can't wait to... Ooh, I can't ruin it. Just buy that book. Do it. Now, as good as all those books were, well, not all of them were good. Captain Marvel was Now we're going to end it with the pick of the week from IDW. Oh boy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 25. Where the hell do I begin? I'll begin with the damn cover. Look at that. Great cover by Kevin Eastman. This is phenomenal shit. Okay, now, yeah, Matthias Santalocco, probably butchered that name, and I'm sorry. He does the interior artwork. It's part 4 of City Fall. Now, there's something in here. It's like there's all kinds of plots going on in here, and usually I would scoff on a book that tries to shove multiple plots in your face all at the same time and shit. But This issue right here is a perfect example of a multiple plot heavy book done right. Oh my god. Let's look at all the plots without trying our best not to spoil the book. You got the Foot Ninja not only having to deal with the turtles, not only having to deal with trying to keep Leonardo in line with them, but they got their hands full with the Ninja Clan of the Savad, which you needed to read the Ninja Turtles annual book from way back to understand who those characters are. You got the storyline with April and Casey's father. You got that plot. You got the plot of the Turtles, the three remaining Turtles, Mikey, Raph, and Don. You got them butting heads with each other, and in a shocking moment, Michelangelo's the one with the clear head. He's the one that's got the cool head and who's giving lectures on how to behave and everything. Fucking awesome! You got like I said, the drama with Leonardo. You got Master Splinter making a deal with Old Hob, and we don't know. And it's like Old Hob is asking Splinter for a favor. What's the favor? We don't know. That's awesome. You got Karai jealous over the fact that Shredder is actually paying more attention to Leonardo than he is her. And that right there is great stuff. I mean, there was plot after plot after plot after plot after plot in this book. But god damn it, this was good. This was so good. And we get a big reveal about Casey's dad. I'm not going to spoil what that was. What Mikey says to calm Raph down and get the cool heads between the three of them. I'm not going to spoil that either. It was a fucking good speech. But, one thing I sure as hell will not spoil was the cliffhanger on the last fucking page. God damn it! It's about fucking time they got here.
Joygasm!
Oh my god. I am nerding the fuck out just talking about this shit. No, I am not done yet. Oh. Fucking perfect issue. Solid 5 out of 5. Fuck a 10 out of 5. Shit. If you're a Turtles fan, it doesn't matter from what era, the 80s, the 2003 series, or hell, the series that's going on now. If you're a Turtles fan, if you've been on board with this series, do not, I repeat, do not let this issue slip through your fingers. If you can find it, no matter what cover it is, if you can find this issue, do yourselves a favor. God damn it, buy this book. This was phenomenal writing, good drama, good action, good everything. I loved this book. I feel better. I need a drink. Well, that's all I got for this week, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed the end of August. Subscribe to this channel. Don't forget about my Blugoblin 01 channel. Don't forget about all the channels from TheMtVernonKid, my bro Chris. Don't forget about Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, Fast Saga Comics, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex, everybody, J. Al Ghul, the whole 9 yards. Don't forget about my girlfriend. And follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr, please. You won't regret it, I promise you. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see you all later.